Center now. Some customers do not believe the results of the audit on Central Maine Power. Tonight, the company's latest attempt to explain.
Plus, a 6-year-old is as energetic as he is generous. This story will inspire you to help others this holiday season. This is News Center now.
We've learned our lesson from that. We've hired new people, we've intensified our training, we've brought on new management oversight, and these are all important steps in regaining customer trust.
Central Maine Power responds to the initial findings of the investigation from the Public Utilities Commission. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Mills.
And I'm Chris Costa. Ratepayers are still skeptical of this first audit from the PUC, and we're going to have more on this story in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to get to this wild weather on Friday. We were lucky to have Corey Frumpkin joining us while Keith Carson's feeling a little bit under the weather.
Hey, Corey.
Hey there, guys.
It's a little messy out there, huh?
Yeah, it's a little messy out there. I want to say it's my first 5 p.m., so I'm very happy to be here. Wishing it was different circumstances. Keith, feel better. All right, talking about the rain that has been moving through all afternoon. It's going to extend into the evening hours, blanketing the entire state here this evening through Greenville, Bangor, all the way up through the county and even down through parts of southern Maine and New Hampshire. We're still looking at some of those steady rain showers pushing through the area right now. A lot of moisture coming up from the south. This will continue through the next several hours. I think we'll start to catch a break, though, heading into the day on Saturday. So by Saturday morning, just a few leftover showers before a cold front moves through during the day. And those temperatures, those really nice temperatures out there, will start to tumble back to where we should be for this time of year. So because of all the heavy rain, we still do have flood watches in effect until Saturday afternoon. We also do have a few high wind warnings and wind advisories also in place for the area. So the winds will be a big deal tonight, gusting 45, close to 50 miles per hour closer to the coast. Changing our attention here now to the temperatures, really mild. Look at these temperatures, well above average for this time of year. Mid-50s was Cassett, Lewiston at 53, 56 in Waterville. That warmth will continue through the rest of the overnight hours as temperatures kind of hold steady here through the evening, and rain will continue for the rest of the night as well. Coming up, we'll talk about your Christmas forecast. I think you're going to like it, and maybe a few flakes in that forecast as well.
All right, good deal, Corey. Thanks. Even with new answers about Central Maine Power's metering and billing systems, some customers are upset with the results.
The audit by an independent consulting group found that the biggest problem had to do with CMP's customer service and only found limited errors in billing. Still, customers aren't buying it with another rate increase that begins in less than 2 weeks.
Well, what I see is bills that are increasing that I don't understand.
Jim Smith can relate to the thousands of CMP customers seeing skyrocketing electric costs.
Our usage hasn't gone up. At least we don't think it has.
He's seeing bills double from what he paid last year, and the rate hikes don't account for the discrepancies.
They tell you it's going to go up by percentage-wise that in our case from the year prior would have been maybe $15, $20 a month increase, but yet our bill doubled.
In the new year, a new increase. The average homeowner will see an 8% hike.
We are actually sending customers letters starting next week.
Central Maine Power spokesperson Catherine Hartnett says the company's trying to be proactive. One of the ways she hopes CMP can rebuild trust they've lost from thousands of Mainers through implementing the new billing system, which the company and the audit say is accurate.
We've learned our lesson from that. We've hired new people, we've intensified our training, we've brought on new management oversight, and these are all important steps in regaining customer trust.
What do you say to people now who see this audit that's come out and say, I still don't believe it, my bills are too high?
Bills are high because electric rates are going up, and they're going up again on January 1st. The MPUC announced a nearly 14% increase, and people are paying attention.
She says some customers found they were, in fact, using more electricity than they realized.
Appliances that are used to combat the cold and make it warmer draw an awful lot of electricity. So people with things like heat pumps and heating tape, they're saving on their oil bills. But when it gets that cold, it's really ill-advised to use those too heavily. So the usage does go up.
44 kilowatt hours a day in 2017 to 58 in 2018, 30 to 47.
Still, people like Jim are baffled by their bills, seeing spikes when they say nothing has changed.
To think that those bills would be that much higher over a one-year time period, even with the cold December and January we had last year. It's not the first time we've had cold Decembers and Januaries.
This is a topic that never fails to get people riled up on social media. A lot of you guys chiming in right now on our Facebook live streams. If you're not watching, and if you want to have something to say and comment, you can go ahead and comment. We've got some people here that are even accusing the PUC of being in cahoots with CMP. That's what Beth Golden is saying. Jesse Timberlake saying not seeing the rationale for CMP rates, and Laura is saying CMP is covering up, and so is someone else. My bill reflects straight up issues. I mean, this is, again, everybody talks about this every single time, and while the CMP has provided a lot of answers as far as their billing is concerned, and as far as some of those tiny errors that we found, that the audit found, people are still seeing these
the differences from the year before.
Right, that just don't seem to add up. And Jim, who we talked to, says that he hasn't changed anything in his house. Maybe there'll be more answers that come out, because I know that Don Kerrigan is speaking with one Maine legislator. That's coming up at 6 o'clock. He's going to explain why that legislator wants CMP to distance itself from its parent company.
And speaking of that Facebook conversation, if you don't have Facebook, join the conversation on our YouTube live stream.
All right, on to more news now. It's the latest denial for Congressman Bruce Poliquin to keep his seat serving Maine's 2nd Congressional District. Today, the First Circuit Court of Appeals denied Poliquin's attempt to keep Democrat Jarrett Golden from succeeding him. This development comes after Poliquin called off the vote recount he requested last week. That's also when we heard the final ruling from a federal judge to deny Poliquin's challenge to reverse ranked choice voting. Poliquin and his lawyers continue to seek the appeal of that ruling.
Government shutdown looms and time is running out. This if Congress cannot pass 7 spending bills by midnight tonight. House Republicans did pass a bill last night to keep the government running until early February. The deadlock is over President Trump's insistence on getting $5 billion for his proposed border wall. Trump says he's prepared for a long shutdown.
Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is in the hospital after undergoing surgery today. Doctors removing 2 nodules from one of her lungs. An initial pathology evaluation was able to determine that the nodules are malignant, and scans performed prior to the surgery show no evidence of disease elsewhere. Justice Ginsburg will remain in the hospital for a few days, and no future treatment is planned.
The Maine football team naming offensive coordinator Nick Charlton the team's new head coach. That didn't take long. Charlton came to the University of Maine football team in the spring of 2015 as the wide receivers coach. During his time in that position, the Black Bears were the only CAA team to have 2 all-conference performers. We will have much more on this new hire coming up tonight at 6 o'clock.
All right, a lot of people using your smartphones for Facebook. What is your password for Facebook? Because if it's 123456, you are not alone, but you may want to change that. According to the software company Splash Data, that password is one of the most common found on lists of leaked passwords. Splash Data says it culminated the list from over 5 million leaked passwords found on the web from mostly North America and Western Europe. The password is the 2nd most popular of the year. Some of the others on the list include admin and ABC123. You can check out the full list on our website and mobile app.
Sometimes the sweetest lessons we learn aren't from the old and wise. This holiday season, inspiration from a 6-year-old boy, his efforts to spread cheer to other kids in the hospital.
Plus, did you know it only takes seconds for flames to engulf a dry Christmas tree? The 10 things every homeowner should know heading into this holiday weekend.
Hi everyone, I will be right back. I'm so sorry to leave you hanging, but you have a lot of Central Maine Power stuff to discuss anyway. I will be right back momentarily. Okay, let's do it.
All right, so Jennifer, you're saying rates going up, not helping with CMP's building of trust. You know, it's something that the PUC actually approved, and part of it, there are 2 separate fees. I was talking about this with Catherine Hartnett today. She's the spokesperson for CMP. And she says that not everybody understands there are 2 separate fees. There's the generation fee, which means the actual production of the energy, the electricity, and then the delivery fee. CMP delivers the energy. There are other companies that provide it. And Cheryl Carson saying we need competitive electricity, another company. So there are other companies out there, I believe, on the generation side of those fees. I think there are fewer options for the delivery. But an interesting point, I'm going to look into that about the competition. How many other options are there out there for people?
Oh yeah, monitors.
Let's see.
That would be fair to look into.
Yeah, Ruth is saying my friend was in Florida. Her bill was almost $200. No one in the house was using power. Just wrong. That's the same story I just heard from Jim moments ago. Where he was saying,
I don't know. Do you know how to work this thing to get the
December and January
playback
where
on
he
there?
wasn't home. They had set the temperature way low to like 60, and
I've never messed with that.
they still had a high bill.
Thank you. It might just be a matter of turning it on.
That monitor, Andrew, do you know how to get that monitor to switch for that?
Yeah, Suzanne, I want to look into that question that you just asked. What types of options does the public have for delivery, and what are the differences in cost? You can go to the Maine PUC's website, the Public Utilities Commission's website, and they'll cost compare for you.
Oh, yes. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to be rude that last break.
My bill's gone up a crazy amount. Little bedroom, my two-bedroom mobile home, all new appliances, and the light bill was.
It's interesting. It's like the double whammy. Take the weather out of the equation. If it was just smart meters or just the delivery fees went up, I'd be curious to see if we'd be seeing this.
Yeah.
If it was just one of those factors. How about these two words to induce stress right now? Christmas shopping. Don't panic, last-minute shoppers, though. You're not alone. The National Retail Federation says 24% of Americans are planning to make their last purchases this weekend. Only 7% will still be shopping on Christmas Eve.
All right, we've all been on the wrong side of a joke, and it happens even to pretty people like actor Ryan Reynolds. He gets pranks pulled on him. At a Christmas party, Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal, that's incredible company, told him it was a sweater party. Clearly it was not, and the expression on his face says it all. I don't know whether or not to call that a beautiful Christmas sweater or an ugly Christmas sweater or
somewhere in between. Something in between. A medium of Christmas sweaters. Checking out what's snapping now. Let's get right to your Snapchats today to see what you guys were out there doing. It was windy, it was blustery, and everybody was out, even the birds. Merry holiday to the pigeons outside. Hopefully they didn't blow away.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine being out there in the rain today?
I know. What else have we got going on in the Snap world today?
Some hoverboard action. Oh, the Christmas came early for these people. Kids teaching mom how to use a
That's
hoverboard.
risky.
The caption is, "This is the best thing ever." I don't know if she's talking about the hoverboard or the reaction by mom.
Exactly. Quality time with the family. Have you ever tried one of those?
No,
They're challenging. All right. Fueling up on gas.
Living on the edge.
Oh, that actually really stresses me out. I think the dial's down below the empty sign, the empty signal or whatever. That really stresses me out. You are living on the edge.
I get made fun of for trying to hypermile my car, get all the miles per gallon I possibly can before I hit empty and all that stuff.
It's all right. Okay. It's definitely, though, a time of year when we all feel like we need a break.
Tomorrow is my first day of vacation off from kindergarten.
Coming up, how this 6-year-old is using those vacation days to do some good.
Plus, Corey Frumpkin's got to look at your wild weather this Friday. Not Keith. All right, we're going to give him a break this time because he's sick. We like you, Corey. We're happy to have you.
Welcome, Corey. Exactly.
You know, he's like really sick, so I'm trying to like give him a pass.
Exactly. We're going to the Peacock.
To the Peacock.
To the Peacock. So yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Joe Saltalamacchia. I wonder if he's related to Jared.
I don't need this if we're going to the Peacock.
I want to know why kilowatt hour usages are changing. You know, that's what I guess it was, I don't know if confused is the right word, but it was something that struck me. The audit showed that the meters,
Yep.
largely accurate, no major
Right.
issues. But then you got a guy like Jim, who I interviewed, who's saying the rates went up, but it's my usage went up. That it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the money.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
I know. Do you want this one?
Nope.
What's easy?
I'm tall.
Okay.
So I just thought that was interesting because it's like, okay, so yeah, your usage goes up, of course your bill's going to be higher. But
Right.
if you haven't changed anything in your house, why is it showing that it's that'd be like, oh, I left my TV on, and all the lights on in my house.
Yeah.
That was what those bar graphs seemed to reflect.
And I've seen those bar graphs from many, many people, many customers who I've interviewed, over the last year. So you've seen them.
Probably
Our
like
colleagues
PTSD
have
from
seen them.
Seeing them all the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's very strange. I even went back through a story we did yesterday, a long time ago, where we got that inside look at the smart meter testing lab and those rigorous tests that those smart meters undergo. And I don't know, I mean, if nothing's wrong with the smart meters, if that's what the PUC finds, what more can they discuss on that January 8th day? That's when we'll know more.
Yeah. Jim brought up a really interesting point about that testing. It's, did they test them in the same types of weather conditions that people in Maine face? I asked that to CMP today, and the spokesperson said, yes, in a lab.
Yeah.
We simulate -20, rain, cold, wind, so on, and then swinging up to 25 degrees in the positive, right, to simulate the temperature swing and to try to simulate what a normal day in Maine in January might be like.
Stand by.
So that was interesting.
I challenge anyone who encounters this little guy not to smile.
The 6-year-old you're about to meet is as energetic as he is generous.
Legos and blocks.
It looks like Christmas morning.
Oh, snap.
For 6-year-old RJ Bourgeois, there's still a few more sleeps till Santa's on his way.
Tomorrow, we're going to deliver each and every toy.
He wants to help young patients at the Barbara Bush Children's Hospital and Ronald McDonald House.
That way so they could have a little more Christmas cheer.
Because he used to be a patient too.
5 days before his due date, and we kind of thought that he was just running out of room, but we went in to get checked out, and it turned out that he was in distress.
Brianna Bourgeois was rushed by an ambulance to Maine Medical Center, where she had an emergency C-section. When he was born, RJ had seizures.
His body was pretty much full of fluid.
He had a life-threatening condition called hydrops fatalis and needed intensive care.
I couldn't drink and breathe on my own. I had a lot of fluid where it wasn't supposed to be. Luckily, they saved my life.
He probably wouldn't have made it if we waited another day, so we're very grateful.
So every year, with help from his parents, RJ bakes cookies for the Ronald McDonald House. This year, 1,000.
RJ, what's your favorite?
Polar bear.
All different types. He started preparing for something more, though, over the summer by doing chores. He wanted to raise money to buy toys for other kids. By September, he had $35, but he wanted to raise more.
We put it out on Facebook, and we thought it would be a couple $100. That'd be great.
A few weeks later, RJ had collected over $4,000.
We bought them with all of my fundraising money.
This is only one half of the toys he's bought. One batch was delivered already, and he'll drop off the rest Saturday with help from Santa.
My really favorite is Legos. I have millions.
It's clear RJ is passionate about Legos and helping others, two things that go well together this time of year.
And RJ is already planning for next year. He wants to raise even more money.
Santa needs to give him an honorary elf badge because that is wicked cool.
And you know what, guys? He told his parents when he was writing his list for Santa this year that he didn't want anything, that he has everything he needs. He's 6 years old.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's incredible.
I was not saying those things when I was 6 years old.
That is so
Isn't
sweet.
that amazing?
Thankful for the things you have.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll tell you what, the weather was really getting me down today because it was blustery and stormy, windy.
Yep.
I met this little guy and my whole day turned around.
Oh, see, a little bit of sunshine
I
in
know,
a dreary
right?
day. That's awesome.
And here is Corey Frumkin to add some sunshine to our newscast.
Hopefully. I did take a nap actually right before I came in, so I'm energized. I'm ready to go. All right, good evening, everyone. We're looking at still some rain pushing through much of the state. Some of this is heavy at times as you push towards the Allagash and into northern Maine, but for everyone else, it's just that light to moderate rain. Taking a closer look off towards the south, anywhere light rain here through York County, Cumberland County, up through Augusta and Waterville. If you are traveling here later on over the next few hours this evening, just give yourself some distance between you and the car in front of you. Some of that spray coming off of the tires will actually add to some of that misery, and your windshield wipers will be going really, really fast. So just take it easy out there. Up to the north, still looking at those steady showers, and where you've seen those yellow pockets, that's some heavier rain. Big plume of moisture coming in from the south. We'll continue with this wet weather through the overnight, and it will start to ease up a little bit through Saturday morning and early into Saturday afternoon. Temperatures as we go into the start of your evening, very mild for this time of year. Right now we are in the low to mid 50s for Portland, Wiscasset, 54 in Rockland. 40s still well above average for Millinocket, 42 in Caribou, 47 in Holton. These temperatures will pretty much hold steady, maybe just dropping by a few degrees here through the overnight, but it's going to be a warm start to the day tomorrow until a cold front moves through, and behind that cold front, temperatures are going to drop during the day. So this will be primarily during tomorrow afternoon. Here's a look at winds right now coming out of the south, which is a little unusual for this time of year. Close to 40-mile-per-hour wind gust recently in Portland, close to 40 in Bar Harbor, 30-mile-per-hour wind gust in Rockland. Winds will ease up just a little bit, and then once the front moves through tomorrow, we could see still some breezy conditions, but it won't be as strong, I think, as what we're seeing tonight. So rain continues through the overnight hours into early Saturday morning. Just a few spotty showers to start off your day with some cloudy skies. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Heading into mid-morning, still looking at that chance of a spotty shower. And then here comes the front by the early part of the afternoon. We will probably see some raindrops along with it, and then colder air will move back in behind the front through the late afternoon and early evening. Temperatures by 11 o'clock tomorrow night will be back into the 20s and 30s. And then we're starting off our Sunday morning very cold, your Christmas Eve back into the 20s. So very cold start to our Sunday morning, and then staying cold here through Sunday afternoon, but sticking with that sunshine. It's Monday that I'm watching. There will be a weak system that'll slide through the area. Could be seeing a few flakes for your Christmas Eve. I don't think it will amount to much. And that's about all she wrote for your Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day is looking quiet. So winds today or tonight will actually calm down just a little bit by morning, maybe picking up just a little bit as that front passes on through, and then very quiet into your Sunday. Temperature trend, enjoy the warmth tomorrow early because colder air sticks around for the majority of your, these are the last several days here of 2018. I can't believe it. That's crazy. All right, here we go. Here's your 7-day forecast. So cooler tomorrow morning. We'll be back near 20. Highs only in the 30s. Well, actually, that's Sunday. This is what little sleep does to you. Monday, snow shower perhaps off towards the south, and then quiet for your Christmas Day, but staying cold past Christmas too. So we're going to pretty much end 2018 on a seasonable note, but colder than what we have been feeling over the last couple of days.
And to think that today is actually just a moment ago, right? At 5:21?
I think it's 5:23 actually.
Okay, sorry. So we're coming up here in about 35 seconds.
The winter solstice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we haven't had winter yet.
See what Kate's missing?
I know.
We're glad you were here for this
I'm happy
momentous day, the solstice.
Corey, that's so mean. In my travels today, I got this one. We were in green, and my photographer Ken and I saw this. I know he's a very handsome snowman, but he's an upside down snowman. I thought that was so clever.
It's fitting for winter, and it's also very representative of how I feel about my Christmas shopping. Just stressed out. I'm just
upside down.
Yeah, I just can't. I haven't done any of it. So
maybe he's doing yoga. Yoga snowman.
I did yoga this morning.
You did?
I like never do yoga, to be honest. No, seriously.
And the day I find a yoga snowman is the day you do yoga?
It's a sign. His downward dog is better than mine. Hey, we've got much more news coming up on News Center Maine at 5:30. Rob Caldwell's here with a look at the headlines. Hi, Rob.
Hi, guys. Here are some of the stories we'll be telling you about in the next half hour. As you know, the weather today was terrible outside. On the Maine Turnpike, a state trooper was injured after being struck by a tractor trailer. How did that happen, and how is the trooper doing now? We'll have the latest on that. Also coming up, here's something you don't hear about every day: Siri saving a life. We'll tell you how that was possible. Those stories and a lot more, all coming up in the next few minutes on News Center at 5:30. Chris, Lindsay?
All right, Rob, thank you so much. Hey, but before we go to break, we'll let you know the story coming up next has to do with what firefighters say you should be aware of on Christmas Day.
Nice little cheese.
I tried my best.
I'm going to break this up into a little thingy.
Bring on the light, says Jesse. I am so with you. I'm so sick of getting out of, not getting out of work. I never get out of work at 4 o'clock, but I look out the window at 4 o'clock and it's dark outside.
Thinking about getting one of those. I was doing a story recently with a pediatric pulmonologist, and he said the best investment he made this year was in one of those lights that make you feel good.
Oh yes, a happy light.
No. Whatever they're called. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it's supposed to simulate sunlight.
Do you guys use those? I'm curious to know if you like them. Do they work? Which ones do you recommend? Because I thought about maybe getting one and keeping it at my desk or something like that. I split this up so that you have the second part.
Okay. I was told by my therapist, for being honest, that
TBH.
that if you sit in front of a one of those sun lamps essentially for 20 minutes a day during these times when it's wicked dark out for a long time,
it helps.
That it can help.
Yeah.
Now we're not talking go tanning or anything. I'm not sure that's the same thing, but
right. I know.
Yeah, so interesting.
It whatever you can do to help works.
Yeah, what do you guys do to break your, I know that this is the first day of winter, can we say this yet? Break your winter blues?
Yeah. But what are some of the tricks?
To
Tried
get over
and
the
true.
darkness consumes our, no, I'm just kidding.
It's funny, a lot of people will say they love comfort food this time of year, cooking nice warm meals, and I do too. But since I've done this little health challenge that you guys are now well aware of, I won't bother you with it that much, but I do have more energy from eating things like tree stumps, as we discussed earlier this week.
Stumps?
Yeah, Keith had a brain drops about organic food and how organic food takes more land to grow so that it's causing deforestation. And there was a picture of a tree stump, and I was like, what is that, food? And they were like, now you're hallucinating. That is not food. That is a tree stump.
Yeah, I do need to, that's one thing I do like to do. I like to make new recipes. I like to try new things. When it's dark out, I can't be outside. I could be outside, but I can't be outside doing things, enjoying the way I would in the summer. So I'll stay home and make new meals that I've never tried before.
Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. What do all three of these days have in common?
They are the top 3 days for home candle fires, according to the National Fire Protection Association. Another leading cause for fires this time of year, Christmas trees. And before you light those candles or gather around the tree, fire officials say there are 10 things you should know.
A video from the National Fire Protection Association shows how fast fire can engulf a dry Christmas tree. It only takes seconds for flames and smoke to fill the room. The consequences can be devastating, even deadly. Nationwide, 25% of home fires are related to having a heat source too close to the tree. That's according to the U.S. Fire Administration. When it comes to your tree, it's best to cut 1/2 inch to 1 inch off the bottom, using a chainsaw or manual saw to help water absorption when it's in the stand. Don't cut at an angle. An even cut can make sure the tree doesn't topple over. Once you cut the base of the tree, you have 8 hours to mount it. That's how long a tree can go without water. Use low heat decorations on the tree, such as mini lights, Every year, make sure those holiday lights aren't frayed or damaged. Keep your live Christmas tree away from heat sources and room exits, and also keep extension cords in mind. Don't allow furniture to pinch them, and don't place cords under rugs. In Maine, a representative from the state fire marshal's office says the numbers show homeowners are using caution when it comes to Christmas tree fires. In 2016 and 2017, there were no reported Christmas tree related home fires. But in those same years, there were a combined 19 home fires related to candles. To prevent candle fires, never place a burning candle next to something flammable. Make sure it's at least 12 inches away from items like wrapping paper, decorations, really anything laying around. Heading out or going to bed, put that candle out. If there's half an inch of wax or less remaining, throw the candle away. Never let it burn to the bottom. 1 in 10 candle fires begin with some sort of decoration, so something to keep in mind while celebrating this holiday season.
I do love a good candle, especially now that I'm using, I'll admit it, a fake Christmas tree, so I need to have the candle that smells like the real tree. But you have to be careful. You got to make sure it's out every time you leave the room or the house.
And you don't think you need to remind people of those things, but sometimes people get caught up in the festivities a little bit and, oh, how nice this would look, and then you got a problem. So good thing to know. Hey, plenty more local news coming up in the next half hour. News Center Maine at 5:30 starts right now.
Good deal. Thanks for being here, guys. If we don't
Happy
see you,
holidays.
have a very Merry Christmas. We'll see ya.